Web3 TV.
Hello and welcome to Web3 Talks. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today we'll be diving into a question that affects all of us. Is our data actually safe with AI? To break this down, I'm joined by Amir Kolahzadeh, CEO and founder of ITSEC, one of the region's leading cybersecurity firms. Over 2 decades, he's been advising banks, governments, and even Fortune 500 companies on how to stay ahead of cyber threats. And now, with the rise of AI, his expertise could not be more valuable. He's here to break down what the big AI companies aren't telling us and how we can protect ourselves from leaks, hacks, and data misuse. So thank you, Amir, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And when I think about cybersecurity experts, I think about these CSI shows and these high-stake crime dramas. Is it really like that in real life?
At times, yeah, there are funny stories, there are sad stories. Yeah, but you know, we don't show up to crime scenes with black vans and things like that. So, yeah, but honestly, yeah, it could be. So, yeah, you know, lots of things. I mean, they're very exaggerated for Hollywood, but yeah, pretty much the same.
And you started ITSEC in 2013.
Correct.
So I want to ask you, why did you decide to start this company in this region?
Great question. I was sent out here on a project for cybersecurity, and there was no company whatsoever. I mean, nobody even knew anything about cybersecurity. And I saw a void, and here we are.
Yeah, and a lot has happened since 2013, and especially when it comes to the rise of AI. So when you look at AI, what are the main risks that you see around data security?
Fascinating question, and there's so many different perspectives to look at it. So there's not just a single, fit-all answer for that. Look, AI could be dangerous. It is dangerous. The hackers are using it today to refine their methods, their hacks. They were always ahead of us anyways. Hackers are always ahead of us. They don't have budget constraints. They don't have rules and regulations. They don't have, even they've had families, well, I don't know, they can manage them better than I can. So they get to work around the clock. And, obviously my wife doesn't want us to work around the clock. So hackers are always ahead, always 2-3 steps ahead. That's just a fact of life. Us as an expert have become to accept that. And that's a fact of life. What is AI doing for them? In the past, I'll give you an example. And very simple example. In the past, you probably got a phishing email. You probably get a lot of them. I get a bunch of them. They're riddled with grammar, spelling mistakes, and just the way they're set up. And you really have to be naive. I mean, you really have to live in a cave, not to spot something. And they really have to be good for you to click on them, right? Today, I have a hard time to spot a real email from a phishing email.
Because they're getting more personalized, or why?
Because they're using AI. The language barrier is gone. There's no more grammar or spelling mistakes. You can train the AI. For example, let's take a bank, right? Let's get a phishing back from AI. I can train the AI by feeding it a real emails from the bank and ask it to now write in that same tone. If I write an email on my own on behalf of the bank, and the one you get from the bank, I guarantee you when you read it, intuition tells you this is not coming from the same place.
Yeah.
Okay? The AI can take that away.
So would you say kind of AI is becoming a hacker's best friend?
It is. No, it's not becoming, it is.
It is their best friend.
But it is also my best friend.
And since, let's say, the past 2 years since ChatGPT came out into the mainstream,
Sure.
Have you been seeing a rise in these types of hacks?
Yeah, definitely. Look, so there's certain different type of hacks, right? Today, the hack that everybody thinks of, and that used to be some guy sitting in the dark room, grandpa's garage or huge black warehouse, trying to code their way into the firewall of the bank. That's only 5% of the hacks. That days are over. everybody's hardened up. Everybody has technology, firewalls, and many other things that prevents intrusion, notifies intrusion, and pretty much 95% of the gates are closed, and they're pretty good closed, okay? Everybody's doing testing, regular testing to make sure the gates stay closed, and all of that is in place. So that model of hackers, they don't exist anymore, or they're very small. If they exist, they're state-sponsored because they're so expensive and they're so time-consuming that a small organization or a single or two guys, out of their college dorm can't afford to hack like that anymore. So that kind of hacking have kind of shifted into state-sponsored. China, North Korea, other countries. So what's the normal hackers? That they come after you and I, right? So this is in response to raise. Yes, it is on the raise, but the rise comes from social engineering. So social engineering on the rise because they're easier, they're focused on people, not technology. So now that you can recruit non-hackers to do social engineering for you, so you don't need technical knowledge anymore. They're cheaper. You can give them a percent of what they take. So it all falls into. Now, where does AI comes in? AI comes in, instead of that guy calling and just making something up, he can just using AI, get a perfect script what to tell you.
Mm. So when we're talking more about the phishing hacks and things like that, but now when we, let's say, have, like one of the things that interests me or concerns me a lot is just how much data that AI collects from us. And now
that's his job.
But now with AI being implemented in many companies, in the workforce, and even in government services, as well as healthcare.
Good.
Then my question to you is, are these AI systems easily hacked, and are hackers going after them?
It depends. You have to look at each company and each AI model as how do they conduct business, what their rules and regulations are, and what do they do with that data. Google is a very responsible company, okay? But it scares me because it just knows too much.
If we just look at in general, is there something you should never share with your chatbot? Some details about yourself.
Wow. AI is a tool, right? If you start confessing to an AI, I think you yourself have set yourself up for maybe a little bit more. As I said, every person should have a bit of boundary for themselves how to use AI. AI is not your friend yet. Maybe in the future, it's not your girlfriend, it's not your priest. Okay, it could be your doctor, but it's not your doctor. You need to set boundaries, rules, and some type of framework how to use AI. If it's a free-all, then yes, at some point you could run into an issue. Ask me what that issue is. I don't know. It's way too early to say that. Okay?
Because it's evolving so fast. But if we look at, let's say, just LLMs in general, their sort of purpose is to solve your problem.
Correct.
So how does that work when it comes to cybersecurity? Is there a kind of like a black box with AI?
Well, since it's an ML, and it's only solving problems, right? And it has the ability not to only solve, but to suggest other perspective that you might miss.
Yeah. So it's helping hackers, basically.
And me. You see, it goes both ways. There has been perspective from the hackers that I've always missed, that now I'm learning more about behavior, about culture, about knowledge, about nationality. As much as they're using it, the good guys are using it as well.
At the Dubai AI Festival, they had an AI bot, or they had an AI agent.
Yeah, AI welcome bot, something like that, yeah.
And you managed to infiltrate into the system. So that's what I was, when AI, these models, when they have a black box.
Yeah, because these guys didn't have any security built in. Because they came out later and they said, oh yeah, we trained it in 24 hours. That's it, you see? It wasn't the AI's fault. It wasn't the security fault. It was the companies. You decided to launch a bot without proper testing, without proper channels, right? Just because you want to get into and introduce your bot, and your bot was vulnerable. And I didn't infiltrate the system. I just manipulated by talking to it.
So in terms of companies implementing AI at large scale,
responsibility.
How can they avoid creating a black box with their AI system?
Responsibility, rules, regulation, sticking to those things, testing the bot, putting the rules and regulation.
So at ITSEC, what are you mainly working on now when it comes to navigating this kind of new area of AI and how hackers are using it?
Okay, so a couple of different things. So we're looking at a couple of different solutions. One is building a AI shield for the existing AI models. So we're building models that we're working with different companies, and you got to remember, so many, it's called wrapper. All these AI agents you see that are working on WhatsApp, they're doing things, they're called AI wrappers. They're ChatGPT wrappers. It's code by ChatGPT that they connect to. So we're working on putting an enhanced security package on top of this, selling that solution to them to be able to protect themselves and their clientele and people that they use them, okay? Now, that's one model that we're helping the AI world. The other model is, yes, we analyze a lot of data from our clients that are hacked or possibly been hacked to understand the DNA of the hack, right? We see a lot of ultra wealthy individuals coming to Dubai. We have few clients that have been a target of very bad hacks, okay? Extortion, online extortions. So we're using AI to understand why, how these people are becoming target. We have built a solution that we actually launched last week. We're going to go public with it. It's called the Ultra High Net Worth Individual Cybersecurity. We protect from their driver, their nanny, and the maid all the way to grandma.
So you
because grandma's phone is best. I mean, I can hack grandma's phone, and I have access to the son-in-law or the son, right? So.
Yeah, so you're using AI as a tool for cybersecurity
Yes.
to help you do your job better, basically.
Better, more efficient, faster, and much more detailed.
And when it comes to just, let's say, companies now looking to implement AI systems, what should they be implementing?
They should be implementing rules, regulation, training. You see what I mean? Limitation, okay? The day DeepSeek came out, I sent out a message on MS Teams to all my employees, and we told IT to block that. We couldn't access it. And I told them, if you access it from company-issued phone or a PC, I will fire you on the spot.
People should be more responsible.
Companies must be responsible. People need to be responsible. If we are responsible on how to behave with AI, I think AI can behave with us.
And I just want to ask you about this article that you recently wrote that free AI systems are not free.
Nothing's free. So
tell me a little bit more about that, and why should we care about free AI versus non-free AI?
Before I answer that, a free VPN, is it really free?
I don't know.
You don't know? Good. It's not. Why? A free VPN, guess what it does? It listens to your traffic. It knows which websites you visit. It logs that. It sells that. And that's the very good scenario of it. A really bad free VPN puts malware on your phone and starts using it to send advertising to other people. You don't know that. There's always a give and take. If there's a free version available, you must know that free version does something in the background that is not good.
So what are the main concerns from a cybersecurity perspective of using a free AI?
There's no concern. Absolutely. You should understand the risk. If I'm starting to use the free version, I should be aware that in the agreement, it's been clearly expressed that we will use your data in an aggregated fashion to do whatever we want. It says that.
if you look at, let's say, the main types of crimes happening through AI that hackers are doing.
Sure.
You mentioned phishing, but do you see any other areas?
Sure, definitely. The deep fake videos that are coming. They can just, you would think that you're talking to me, 100%. Recently, a guy used AI to fake a passport and got through airport with it. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
That was a good one. I was impressed. Perfect.
And AI is helping them achieve
AI
that.
built it. I was either a European or German or an American. I don't remember exactly, but he got through the airport with it.
Yeah, and if we look at, let's say, how AI is helping criminals, hackers, to, let's say, make a fake passport or something like that.
That guy wasn't a criminal. It was just testing AI.
It's testing. Okay, testing how AI can, let's say, be used in a criminal way, right? So what are some things that you're doing at ITSEC to sort of, let's say, spot those types of crimes?
It's impossible. It's impossible. How do I know that some guy sitting in some country, in some warehouse with 20 of his buddies using AI? As I said, that only becomes transparent when they use that AI to actually commit a crime, right? And I'm called on that crime, right? That's number one answer. Number two, we are, as I said, we are working on the shield of an AI, right? AI security, right? To put some rules and regulations for AI companies and the technology as a cybersecurity, that if certain things happen and certain logics are used, okay, so to be able to flag those, to be able to flag, look, if you start using race-based, words with ChatGPT, they shut your account down. Did you know that? Yeah, of course, right? So it's racially sensitive, but it's not hacker sensitive. You see what I mean? So that technology is there, right? So, but it is much more harder to spot a hacker using AI, because if anybody an account should have been spotted and shut down, I use AI to get hacking models all the time, but I'm not using it for hacking. I'm using it to understand it, right? So it's difficult, Lisa, to come up with a model that says, oh, we're going to spot hackers. No, it's difficult. The phone company hasn't figured out how to shut them down from calling you.
Yeah, so it's going to be much harder when it comes to
the hacker and the hacky, the robber and the cops are going to be around as long as we are around. We're not there yet.
And if we look at, let's say, what you are kind of most concerned about when it comes to the future of AI and cybersecurity, what do you think about
I'm
that?
not worried about hackers using it, because they will use it, okay? I would probably people say, yeah, you would say that because you're in cybersecurity. Of course, that's one of those things. What I'm concerned about is us, what we will share with this. At what point do we cross the line? I was listening to this ridiculous web podcast. These two guys, they were having fun with ChatGPT, and they manipulated enough to get it to confess if it would how would it take over the world.
What did it say?
I have to send it to you. You need to listen to this. It blew them out of the waters what the answer was. It wasn't that it's going to take over the military or the atomic bomb.
What was it going to take over?
It was long, but I'll simplify in one sentence. He goes, I will manipulate you to do my dirty work for me.
So it'll go to the person using it, the user.
There you go. Even AI confessed it. He goes, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is manipulate you to do it for me.
Interesting. Well, I want to say thank you so much for speaking with me. It's been a great conversation. Thank you so much. And that's all that we had for you today. My name is Lisa Amnegard, and you're watching Web3 Talks.
Web3.tv